Thank you, Lakita. You know, I don't get a chance to get in front of this many people in March. It's basketball season. Kentucky folks, help me out of this. I've always wanted to do it. Ready? Whoa. T-S, cats, cats, cats. Whoa. C-A-T-S, cats, cats, cats. Yeah, there we go. What are they going to do? Tell me I can't be district governor this year?
War Eagle.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you for indulging me for just a moment. You know, for me, and my district has heard me say this and different things, Rotary is all about relationships. And for me, I've made so many great friends while I've been here. And our next speaker is a friend of mine. And one of the things that I think friends do is introduce friends to new friends. And 2 years ago, I sat in Nashville at MS Pets. Apparently I didn't have a title because, you know, I think John told us there was no such thing as a DGND, but so at that time I thought that's what I was. I was a DGND, and our next speaker, he got us together with the six of us that were going to be doing this show today, and that was the first time I really got a chance to meet Sam and Lakita and Jim and Carol and Dean, and you know, that brought us together. And so I remember sitting there with Greg that day thinking, we spent a lot of time there, and then flash forward just a few months, and he introduced me to all the other people from the zones that have become such great friends of ours and that we've connected with, and that's what friendship really is, and what Rotary really is friendship. And so give me just a second while I introduce you to my friend, okay? My friend is our international director for these last couple years. And he's been a constant presence, not just these 2 years as director, but all through the last decades of his life there. But he's one of the very few Rotarians to serve as district governor twice. Standing here today, I can assure you I will not be joining you in that. But Greg has never stopped using his high energy and his emotive personality to improve, motivate, and inspire all of our clubs and districts. He's unstinting in his efforts to improve our organization. He's been very active, especially in stimulating membership growth. And I was always told, and I know he gets tired of hearing it, but if he hasn't had a chance to ask him about his favorite candy, right? The M&Ms, is that right, Greg? But so we're very fortunate to have him as our representative on the Rotary International Board of Directors, and we're fortunate to have him as a speaker today. Greg really believes that Rotary enables him to live a life of purpose on that. So please welcome to the stage my good friend and our Rotary International Director, Greg Yank.
You gotta feel it. It's electric. Ooh, it's shocking. It's electric.
Is this on, Jerome? You know, they say applause before you speak is an act of faith. Applause during your speech is an act of hope. And applause after you speak is an act of charity. So thank you for that. Bobby, thank you for inviting me. Thanks to our governor-elect. Is it okay if I take this tie off? You mind? Because if Barry Rassin were here, and I've been with him the last couple of weeks, he'd be up here without a tie on. So I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but are you okay with this? Huh? Good afternoon to all of you.
Fix your mic.
My mic as well? Is it better now?
Higher.
Can you hear me? It's on? Okay. You know, I'm looking for a new food taster. Is this? Okay. I've been through two already. I've been through 2 food tasters. Karen, how many did you go through?
A dozen.
A dozen?
Chicken kind of gets you, you know.
I'm going to try to put this over here. Is that better? Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Right? Anyway, I'm looking for a new food taster. I've been through two already. Does anyone want to volunteer to be a food taster for me? Because, you know, people are after me, right, Karen? So, folks, I'm delighted to be here. I like to get in front of presidents-elect. It's not president-elects. It's presidents-elect. And I'm going to talk to you today about the best job in Rotary from where I sit. I hope you agree, because you have the chance to impact Rotarians where they live and work. You know, it's not the district where Rotary happens. It's not the zone. It's certainly not in the RI boardroom. But it is in the club every week. That's where they experience Rotary. So I want to talk to you about 3 things. 1, my perception of the role. Number 2, the importance of focus during your year. And number 3, I have what I call rules of engagement for presidents-elect. And of course, you can't end, Dave, unless you have a call to action, right? So I'm going to try to cover 3 things. And I want to start by using an analogy that past President Cliff Docterman used, and maybe some of you have heard this. Cliff was president in the early 1990s, and he used a wonderful analogy, and that is the club president really is the conductor of a symphony orchestra. And what do they do? What does the leader of a symphony do? Because you are leaders in your clubs, right? You are leaders in Rotary. Well, leaders are what? And Floyd touched on some of this morning. Leaders are prepared. You have to spend some time preparing for every meeting. You just can't walk in there, Dean, get up to that microphone, and let it go. So leaders are prepared, right? The conductor of a symphony works hard, practices, right? Leaders plan, and you're in the midst now of planning your year, right? Starting today. Planning your year when you take that podium July 1. Leaders listen. They listen to their members. I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Leaders share. You're going to have a board, right? You're going to help build that board. Leaders encourage their members. Your members want to see optimism out of you. They want you to make them feel special. That's what leaders do. Leaders set goals. You're in the midst of doing that now, I'm sure. Leaders delegate. Hard to do. Because you can do it better what? Yourself, right? Anyone struggle with delegation? If you're in business, if you have people that you manage. And so I hope as I go through my remarks, some of this might benefit you in your own work as well as in your leadership role in your Rotary Club. But you've got to delegate because you've got to focus your work. And even though you think you can do it yourself better, and someone else can't, you got to learn to do that, and that's not easy to do. Leaders develop others, folks. Your job is to look at your club and see who's in that club and who can step into leadership, step into club committees. You've got to work with your nominee. You've got to work with your nominee. We try to model that in Rotary. Floyd and I, Floyd who follows me as director, and I talk a lot. Karen was great in terms of mentoring me, bringing me into conversation. You've got to do the same thing, folks, with your leadership team. And leaders recognize, you know, Cheryl, you worked hard on the project. I know you spent hours at night, contributed your time, energy, and money, and I thank you for that. People want and need to be recognized, and it's so easy to do, but sometimes we don't do it. We don't think about saying thank you, and that's what leaders do. Leaders say thank you. So the conductor of a symphony, you see him up there, or her up there with not too many strings. The percussion may be a little bit too loud. They even things out. That's your job. You're in leadership. And I think we do in Rotary a great job of training our leaders. Free leadership training is a value proposition for some of you and some of our Rotarians. And you know, folks, you're leading a great organization. I don't need to tell you that. We're doing wonderful things around the world, and I want to share with you our new vision statement. Maybe Mark did that last night. But we have a new vision statement, which is the grounding of our strategic plan that we're reformulating. We have one dating back to 2010, but we have another one, and I want to share with you the vision statement for the organization that we're all part of. See, vision is sort of a dream. What do we want to look like? What do we want to do in the future? And here's what we say. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. We are people of action. We bring people together. We exchange ideas. And then we just don't talk about it, folks. We do it. And that's why the People of Action campaign is so very important in our Rotary world. Now, I was club president in 1992-93. Floyd shared his experience with you. I had been in two other clubs, and I came to O'Fallon, and the club was about 80 people. Karen, you've been there. We didn't have any leadership. The club was fumbling a little bit, so I said, I'll be president, because I was in line to be president in another club. So I stepped in and I said, you know, the thing we got to do, and I want you to think about this, is we need a significant club, signature club project. How many of you have such a thing in your club? Yes, some of you do. Well, talk with your colleagues who raised their hand. I wanted our club to get focused on something we could do that would benefit Beth, the community. We had an old building, a dance hall, 1926 it was built. People in the community met there, but it had been through a number of different things. During the war, it was a seamstress factory. It was in disrepair, and the city was going to tear it down. In the heart of our city, Sam, I said to our club, let's take the leadership, let's raise some money, but more importantly, let's get to work on renovating that building. 5-year commitment, $80,000 from our club. We got the trades in the community. working with us, volunteering 140,000 hours. We set up a community foundation. We raised $250,000 led by many Rotarians, and we renovated a 10,000 square foot building, top and bottom. Katie Caven's Community Center, that's where we meet for lunch on Mondays. A visible sign in that community of Rotary. We got people doing hands-on community service. We used some of our funds wisely, and we helped add value to the community. So I would encourage you to think about a significant club project. What are you known for in your community? So let me stop my first piece there and shift into the importance of focus for all of you. Peter Drucker, a guru of management, said this: the mortal sin of organizations, and that's what we are. We are a not-for-profit organization, but the mortal sin of any organization, a business, Rotary, is we splinter scarce resources because you can't do it all, right? You have to focus. And I suggest to you, as you prepare for your year, pick a couple of things that'll help your club become, as past President Ray Klingensmith said, bigger, better, and bolder. What do you need to do in your club to move the needle on club health? You got to think about that. And I want to share with you something I hope you've seen. Rotary's done a wonderful job of creating resources for all of you, but sometimes they're not used. This is an online document called Rotary Club Health Check. Have you seen this? I'm sure some of you have seen it. Hopefully some of you have used it. But I suggest to you that you look through this, do an exercise with your board, if not your entire membership, and take the temperature of how healthy your club is, because if we have active and attractive clubs, we're going to be able to bring people in and keep them. So think about where your club is at on that spectrum. Take the temperature of your club. What's its health? And you can't do it all, so 2 or 3 things during your year as in club leadership. You have one chance to do this, to make a difference in your club. Look at the health of your club, the gender, the diversity issue, ethnicity. Do you represent your community? Are you bringing them in, but are they leaving? How many of you are in business, own a business or work in a business? How hard do you work to get a customer? It brings revenue into your company. It's a relationship you work hard at. And when you lose a longtime customer, you feel like you've been hit in the gut. What am I going to do? But what happens, folks, in our Rotary clubs every day? We've got people walking out the back door, and we don't know why they leave. We do a pretty good job of bringing people in, but retention is a key issue, and we talk a lot about that. Brent Rosenthal has, for years, talked about that. We've been at 1.2 million Rotarians for 15 years, right? You know what your club's doing. I want to remind you that club flexibility is right in front of you. With our Council on Legislation in 2016, the doors have sort of been opened up to really do what you want in your club. You know, there's an expression in Rotary saying the Rotary police, Mike, are woefully underfunded. They're not going to come in and shut you down because you meet twice a month. You can do that now. You can have family memberships. You can change your dues structure. You can have corporate memberships. I hope you know about that, because I want you to think about your club and whether any of those new flexibility possibilities make sense for you. Some of them may not. Your club may be fine the way it is, but I want you to know you have flexibility. And every month in the Rotarian magazine, there's a one-page sheet on what some club is doing to embrace flexibility. So feel free to try things. Engagement, not attendance. I'm not standing up here saying we don't want people to come to our meetings, but we want engaged Rotarians, folks. You want engaged Rotarians, right? So think about where your club is at. Club visioning is a way to get your club to look at itself. Glenn Vanderford is here. He leads our zone efforts in club visioning. We have 4 districts left that are waiting to get teams trained. I'm very proud of that. A district team trained that then goes out and does club visioning. It's a wonderful thing to get your club looking hard at itself, which clubs need to do. I suggest to you that if you believe, as I do, that your members in your club are customers, and if you change your mindset a little bit and that paradigm to think of them as customers, like in your business, you want to keep them, right? Are they satisfied? Why do some of them leave? Because I suggest to you that the product Rotary has is the club experience. I said to you this morning in your breakouts, many of them will not come to an event like this. We hope they come to a district conference or an event, and we hope they might experience an international convention. But the reality is, Chuck, that most Rotarians experience Rotary at their club meeting every week, and if the product we deliver, that Rotary Club experience, doesn't match what they think they want, what are they going to do? You have a chance to impact that club experience, the health of your club. So I suggest you ask your customers how they feel about the value they're getting. See, the value proposition, you know about what that is in business. We got the same thing in our Rotary clubs. What are they getting for their time, energy, money? Because they can go elsewhere, particularly young people who don't want to really go to a monthly or a weekly meeting, right? What's your club offering your customers to keep them? To keep them coming back. And that gets to looking at all sorts of things, right? Club meetings, how they're organized. So, I want to share as well with you some things that Rotaractors, you know, those young professionals that we'd love to have convert to becoming Rotarians. Our track record's not very good, is it? Here's what they say, and this was in the Rotarian magazine. Here's what Rotaractors are looking for in a club. As I go through these, think of your own club. They want networking. Wow. Do we give them that? Right? They want friendship. One of our core values in Rotary is friendship, isn't it? They want hands-on service. How you doing on that? They want flexibility. Maybe I can't make every meeting, but I want to work on a service project. They want a family-like atmosphere. You know, the clubs that are growing at least in North America, are these what we call sunset clubs, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, no meal. My 2 kids belong, Ron, Julia and Garrett. And you go to that club meeting, and it's a little different than my noonday club. As I've said to some of you, they're a drinking club with a community service problem. But those are the clubs that are growing. Personal development, they're looking for personal development. Can we give them that? Darn right we can. Inclusive culture. Gender, ethnicity. A club that's open to change. I was at a club the other day and they sang out of the manual, the song manual, Daisy, Daisy. Then they sang another one. They're looking for creative solutions, open-minded people. Focused planning, there's that setting goals and focusing your efforts. They're looking, folks, for a chance to make a difference. Don't we offer them that in our communities? And then you leverage our wonderful foundation and what we're doing worldwide to change lives every day. We can offer them that. If Barry were here, he'd say, start a Rotaract Club. That's one of his goals. That's what Rotaractors, that age group that we really would like to bring into Rotary, are looking for. And I want to suggest to you that this is a wonderful roadmap. This is the presidential citation for next year. Of course, we've got that wonderful theme, Be the Inspiration. Use this. If you're working through this, you're going to have an attractive and active club. We've got to keep asking people, right? You know, the bad statistic that we quote in Rotary is how many people have never invited someone to a Rotary meeting, much less sponsor. It's a bad number. The number's 80%, give or take. So, I want to shift to my last part here, and that is some rules of engagement for all of you. I hope you'll listen to this. And just think about your club. So, show up. Be on time. Act like a star. The greatest ability is dependability. Kurt Bergwell said that. See, believe in yourself as a leader. Your members want you to be successful. You need to know that. They need to see your energy and passion. Stand up straight. Take your hands out of your pockets. Act like you know what you're doing. Show an attitude of confidence. Because everyone in that room wants you to be successful. Sharon Fanning said, be yourself, everyone else is taken. Now look, some of you maybe are fearful of leading your club. Some of you are introverts, not extroverts. I had a fella the other day at another Pets say, you know what I'm fearful of is getting up and messing up, clicking that gavel at my first meeting. Can you believe that? You can do it. There's no question. Be yourself, right? Run a good meeting. Spectacular achievement is always preceded by unspectacular preparation. Clergyman Robert Schuller said that, ladies and gentlemen, and I can tell you Rotary's done a lot of surveys of what people want in a meeting, and I'll tell you, one of the top things they want is they want a president that runs a good meeting. On time, acknowledging people, good programs. And as Floyd said today, Have fun. Have fun. My wife, Catherine Taylor Yank, who was governor in 05-06, a classmate of Karen's, said, if you're not having fun in Rotary, you're not doing it right. So is your club fun? We love F words in Rotary, don't we? Fun is one of them. The latest one is fluids. You know, hospitality last night. John, where are you? I'm sorry I missed it. I got in at 1:45, thanks to Rachel Moses. Where's Rachel? Rachel? Rachel picked me up in Atlanta. Cheryl called me. Cheryl's my aide, sitting in the front row, and she said, you know, this was at what, 11 o'clock? I said, would you wait up for me? She went to bed, and that's fine. That's fine. But, have fun. Be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm is contagious, folks. Start an epidemic in your club. Listen more than you talk. Listen to your customers. What are they telling you? Remember, your club members are your customers, and think of them in that framework. Set goals. Be the example. Focus and follow through. Isn't it funny? The harder you work, the luckier you get. And you know, on setting the example, people are watching what you do as club president, who you're talking to, how you act. And of course, we ask people to do two things in Rotary, don't we? Sponsor another member and give to our foundation. Give $100 a year to our foundation. So I suggest to you, you set that example right now. Between now and July 1, you bring in a member and you give to the foundation, and when you get up there and ask people to do this, you will have done it yourself. You'll feel good about it. People will make important what you make important. And we know that members are the heartbeat of Rotary, and the heart of Rotary is our foundation, as Floyd said today. So sponsor and give. If you do that between now and July 1, you'll feel good about it. Make your meetings a good customer experience. Make your meetings a good customer experience. Act as if you're a host. When you have people come to your home, what do? You greet them at the door. You take their coat. You sit them down. You serve them drinks. Maybe you have dinner. You are the host of your Rotary Club. How you doing on that? Do people come in and wander, like Floyd said today? Or is someone there to greet them, to seat them? It's important. It's important. Have fun, recognize your customers. You need to touch their minds and hearts, folks. They need to see your energy and passion. So your call to action. July 1, Catherine. Not you, but when you take the podium, July 1, take responsibility for the life of your club. Fight apathy if you have it in your club. Make a positive difference. Find that significant club project. Do the right thing for the right reason. We have a wonderful commitment to ethics and integrity in our organization. That's called character, and character is doing what's right when no one's looking. People are going to be watching you. Don't accept excuses from yourself or others. Well, we've tried that. Think differently. BA, as Ravi Ravindran's great theme in 2015-16, be a gift to your club. Make your year the best it's ever seen, your year as club president, and commit to President-elect Barry's great theme of be the inspiration. By serving humanity and making a difference in the life of your club, your community, and in the world. You see, as Michael said, I believe the purpose of life is a life of purpose. And Rotary enables me, I believe, to live a life of purpose. I hope you feel the same way. Remember those key 10 words, if it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. This is your time, this is your year, this is your destiny. Make a difference in your club, in your own life. I wish you great success on this journey you are about to take. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for having me.
Please don't go away. We have a small token of our appreciation for you.
Thank you very much.
Not only Director Greg, but also classmate Greg.
Right.
We were district governors together. So thank you again. Another round of applause.